Good day everyone. We are the Group 7 and we are going to discuss Article 3 Bill of Rights, Section 19 to 22.
Section 19. Excessive fines shall not be imposed, nor cruel, degrading, or inhuman punishment inflicted. Neither shall death penalty be imposed unless for compelling reasons involving heinous crimes. The Congress hereafter provides for it. Any death penalty already imposed shall be reduced to reclusion perpetua. For the first part in Section 19, it states that excessive fines, cruel, degrading, or inhuman punishment shall not be imposed. Additionally, the death penalty shall not be imposed unless for compelling reasons involving heinous crimes. Congress provides for it. Any death penalty already imposed shall be reduced to reclusion perpetua. Sa Section 19, ipinagbabawal sa karapatang ito ang pagpataw ng malaking multa. Kinakailangang isaalang-alang ang kakayahan ng tao na magbayad sa bigat ng kanyang paglabag sa laki ng multa na ipapataw sa kanya. Para naman sa kaparusahan ng krimen, hindi pinapahintulutan ng Konstitusyon ng Pilipinas ang anumang parusa na may kahalong torture o magreresulta sa unti-unting o marahas na kamatayan gaya ng pagsunog ng buhay, paglunod, pagputol ng bahagi ng katawan at iba pa. Ipinagbabawal din ang kaparusahan na makakasira sa dignidad at sa mga self-respect sa mga convicted na kriminal. Sa usapin ng death penalty sa kasalukuyan, hindi ito ipinapatupad ngunit maaari itong ibalik ng Kongreso sa anumang pagkakataon na kakailanganin ito para sa mga kasong itinuturing na heinous crimes. Para sa mga taong nahatulan ng bitay, ang kanyang sentensya ay mapapababa sa reclusion perpetua or life imprisonment.
Number 2. The employment of physical, psychological, or degrading punishment against any prisoner or detainee, or the use of substandard or inadequate penal facilities under subhuman condition shall be dealt with by the law. In the second part of Section 19, the purpose is to protect the rights and dignity of prisoners and detainees, ensuring that they are not subjected to any form of abuse or mistreatment while in custody. It also emphasizes the responsibility of the government to provide adequate and human condition in penal facilities, in accordance with the principles of respect for human rights and human dignity. Para naman sa ikalawang bahagi ng Section 19, ito ay ang nakatuon sa pagbibigay ng maayos na kalagayan para sa mga bilanggo habang nasa kustodiya ng pamahalaan. Responsibilidad ng mga opisyal sa bilangguan na pagkalooban ng sapat na pagkain, serbisyong medikal at angkop na rehabilitasyon para sa mga nasa kulungan. Laging tandaan na ang pangunahing layunin ng Bureau of Correction ay magbigay ng rehabilitasyon upang maisaayos ang mga taong nagkasala ang kanyang buhay. Hindi maitatawag na Bureau of Correction para parusahan at gaantihan ang mga taong nagkasala sa batas.
Section 20. No person shall be imprisoned for debt or non-payment of a poll tax. This provision ensures that individuals are not incarcerated due to their inability to pay a debt or a poll tax. It provides an important safeguard against the imprisonment of individuals who may be in financial distress, reaffirming the principle that poverty should not be a basis for deprivation of liberty. Section 20 is rooted in the recognition of the dignity of every individual and the principle of social justice. It reflects a commitment to protect the most vulnerable members of society from punitive measures that could exacerbate their economic hardship. By prohibiting imprisonment for debt, the Constitution upholds the value of human freedom and ensures that individuals are unduly penalized for their financial circumstances.
The Section 20 of Bill of Rights serves as a vital protection against the imprisonment of individuals due to debt or non-payment of a poll tax, aligning with the broader constitutional principles of human dignity, social justice, and the rights of individual.
Sa Section 20, Hindi pwedeng ikulong ang isang tao dahil sa pagkakautang at hindi pagbayad ng full tax. Pero hindi ibig sabihin nun na hindi ka na magbabayad. Hindi kasi makatarungan at makatao ang pagpapakulong sa mga tao dahil sa walang kakayahan na magbayad. Nakikita ito ng pamahalaan na parusa dahil sa pagiging mahirap. At hindi rin ito magiging patas dahil kung sakaling ipakulong ang mga taong hindi nakakapagbayad ng utang, karamihan ng maaapektuhan nito ay ang mga mahihirap lamang.
Section 21. No person shall be twice put in a jeopardy of punishment for the same offense. If an act is punished by a law and an ordinance, conviction or acquittal under either shall constitute a bar to another prosecution for the same act. This provision ensures that the individuals are not detained or imprisoned slowly because of their political beliefs or aspirations. It upholds the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and expression, which are fundamental human rights recognized by international law.
Ang Section 21 ay mas kilala bilang Rights Against Double Jeopardy. Sinasabi ng karapatan na ito ay ang kung isang tao na sinampahan ng kaso, ito ay napasawalang bisa o di kaya ay napatunayan, hindi na maaaring isampa sa kanya muli ang parehas na kaso sa hinaharap. Ang karapatan para sa double jeopardy ay proteksyon ng mga mamamayan sa paulit-ulit na pagsasama ng kaso laban sa isang dahilan lamang.
Section 21 is rooted in the recognition of the importance of protecting the freedom of individuals to hold and express their political view without fear of persecution or retribution. It reflects a commitment to upholding the principles of democracy and the rule of law, which require the individuals be free and express their view and participate in the political process without fear of repression. Section 22. No ex post fact law or bill of attainder shall be enacted.
The Section 22 acknowledges the rights of indigenous cultural communities and promotes their rights within the framework of national unity and development. This provision aims to balance the rights of indigenous people with the broader goals of economic growth and social progress, ensuring that the unique cultures and traditions of these communities are preserved and respected.
Sa Section 22 ay nahati sa dalawang bahagi. Ito ay ang ex post facto law at ang Bill of Attainder. Ano nga ba ang ex post facto law?
Kapag sinabing ex post facto law, isa itong uri ng batas na maaaring kasuhan ng mga naggawa bago pa ito maisulat. Halimbawa, si Mr. A ay may ginawang isang bagay noong 2021. Ngunit sa pagdating ng 2022, isang batas ang naipasa na nagsasabing illegal na ang ginawa ni Mr. A noong 2021. Kung pinahihintulutan ng ex post facto law, maaaring kasuhan si Mr. A kahit na una pa niyang nagawa ang isang bagay bago na isulat ang batas. Sa bisa ng Section 22, pinagbabawal ang ex post facto law dahil kung walang batas na naisulat technically, legal pa gawin ang isang bagay.
Ang ikalawa naman ay ang Bill of Attainder. Ano nga ba ang Bill of Attainder?
Ang Bill of Attainder ay isang uri ng legislative act na nagbibigay parusa sa tao na walang paglilitis ng hukuman. Halimbawa, kung ang Kongreso ay nagpasa ng batas na nagpapaaresto o mag-aalis ng mga karapatan ng mga tao dahil sa kanyang affiliation o membership sa isang grupo, maituturing ito na Bill of Attainder. Ito ay dahil kadalasan ang mga membership sa isang grupo ay hindi kaagad nangangahulugan na may illegal kang ginagawa, kung kaya't kinakailangan ka munang litisin upang matukoy kung ano nga ba ang mga mali mong nagawa sa hukuman. Gayunpaman, sa pamamagitan ng Bill of Attainder, maaari nang ipakulong ang isang tao na hindi dumadaan sa judicial process. Dahil dito, pinagbabawal ang Bill of Attainder sa ating bansa.
The provision is significant for several reasons. Number 1, recognition of indigenous rights. It acknowledges the existence of indigenous cultural communities in the Philippines and their right to maintain and develop their distinct cultures, tradition, and way of life.
Under the Section 22, Balancing Cultural Right and National Development, the provision seeks to strike a balance between the right of indigenous communities and the broader goals of national unity and development. This reflects the understanding that the rights of indigenous people are essential for preserving the diversity and richness. The last one, implementation and enforcement. The provision empowers the state to take necessary measures to ensure the realization of the rights of indigenous peoples. This includes the enforcement of the indigenous peoples. According to the Section 22, it recognizes and promotes the right of indigenous cultural communities within the framework of national unity and development. Additionally, ang layunin ng Section 22 na ito ay magkaroon ng balanse sa pagitan ng mga karapatan ng mga katutubong komunidad at pagkakaisa at kaunlaran, kabilang dito ang pagpapatupad ng indigenous peoples.